one of the major problems that exist in our community, especially in our homes, towards our wives and towards our children, or towards our brothers and sisters, especially in particular the Muslims, is our anger problem. I would like to add that anger can sometimes be a result of pride, meaning that when somebody gives a different opinion to yours and you refute that opinion, and then they refute that, they counter-refute it, then you've got to watch out not to allow yourself to fall into a situation of pride, to think, I'm not going to let him beat me in the argument, so I'm going to beat him. And you develop into an anger, and it transforms itself into an argument and a debate. And the Prophet ﷺ says, "Man taraka al-mira'a lillahi wa huwa muhiqqun buniya lahu baytan fi wasat al-jannah," or kama qala. Whoever abandons and stays away from arguments, just for the sake of argument, for the sake of Allah, especially when they are in the right, your argument's the right one and this is the wrong one, and you avoid arguments, then Allah will build for them a palace. Guess where? Where? In the center of Jannah. The center, in the middle, right in the middle of all the beauty. There you have a house, a palace. Subhanallah. This is similar to the hadith the Shaykh mentioned today about anger as well, where he said, whoever restrains their anger when they are able to take the revenge. Someone has wronged you, again, wronged you. You are in the right, and you are able to take your revenge at that person, but rather you restrain your anger and you do not take effect for the sake of Allah. On the day of judgment, you will be called amongst all the people, in front of everyone, and it will be said to you, here are the women of paradise, choose whichever one you want. Yeah, and it's a great reward in the hereafter. Maybe this is also for the women. If they restrain their anger, maybe they can choose any of the hur men. But this is not a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. I'm just saying this, probably inshaAllah, this is what will happen to you, maybe. But the point is, in these two hadiths is a remarkable reward, a special reward for a person who restrains their anger when they are able to take effect. And I'd like to make this more, I wanted to sort of pick on this a little bit more to make you realize that anger can be one of the greatest problems in our community. And what they put on the news and the media about Muslims bashing their wives, Islam does not teach that. And Muslims who are true Muslims do not do that. You will never find a true Muslim ever bashing his wife. Islam does not ever in any way or shape or form, neither in the Quran nor in the Sunnah, does it talk about bashing the wife. Anyway, can anyone find any place in the Quran or the Sunnah where it says bash your wife? Put your hand up if you think so. Be courageous, doesn't matter. We're learning. If you really think so, just put your hand up. I won't pick on you. No? You do?
Slight beat.
A slight beat. I said bash. There's no bashing in the Quran or the Sunnah. طيب. What about beating them without consciousness? Beating them lightly without consciousness. What about beating them lightly anywhere? Not even the Quran says that. The Quran points out something, and the Prophet ﷺ restricts it, and he explains it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, of course, first of all you must warn them and teach them. Warn them of Allah's punishment. Warn them of what they're going to miss out on, the rewards from Allah. Teach them the right and wrong. You have to do that numerously and over again. If after a long time this does not work, you resort to abandoning them in the bed. Believe me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the reaction of the women and the men. And so He says, abandon her in bed for a while until she realizes. If she realizes, teach her why you have abandoned her in bed. Don't just let it go like that, because they won't know. The moral is to teach if they are wrong. And finally, if that doesn't work, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَضْرِبُوهُنْ, hit them. Darb in Arabic has many levels. You can hit hard, you can hit lightly. The Prophet ﷺ restricts that, and he says to hit them lightly, as some narrations of some scholars they say, like the hitting of a small miswak. And then he said, do not hit darbun mubrih. Don't hit a type of hitting that is harmful, that will leave marks, that will harm inner or outer of the body. Then he says, do not hit the face. A lot of the tafsirs of the scholars, they said, do not hit the face, meaning in Arabic, it means two things. It means the face, the actual face of the eyes and nose, because it's the most humiliating. And also the face, meaning the face of the whole body, all the front part, because the greatest damage can be done there. Yes, the back can also cause damage, alaykum assalam, but Prophet ﷺ also said not to hit a harmful hitting. So it's a hit that lets her realize that you are now punishing her in a way that is not befitting for a mature woman. So if advising and teaching and abandoning the bed, all those do not work with her, and she understands her mistake and keeps repeating it, obviously has to be a mistake that is quite displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not just a simple mistake, for every human being makes mistakes. And resorts to this type of hitting, and still she doesn't want to mend herself, then what kind of a woman is she? She wants to be stubborn in the wrong way, knowing it's wrong. Then the only resort after that is divorce. A woman may ask, what do you do for the husband then, if he goes out of bounds? Obviously, sister, you can't bash him, because you won't hurt him, and even if you do hit him, it'll just make him worse. If you can hit him, he will get worse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give the same way of discipline for the woman, because the man is different. But rather He said, then bring a judge from his family and your family. Someone they respect, and speak in front of them, because that way the man can accept from people he respects and honors.